Welcome back to Cooking with Michelle. I'm Joel Gilly. We have Michelle Estrada, our family consumer life science expert.
No, you add a little bit there.
I always do that.
I know, but you were getting like really good.
I was.
Family and consumer science agent.
What did I say? Family?
And you add the life.
Oh,
but
I add
that's
life.
okay.
Well, but life
that's
is
okay.
it's all right.
That works out.
Michelle's with the Cooperative Extension here in Wayne County, and this is our cooking show that we do, and it's all healthy recipes. And so we're going to have another healthy recipe today.
You're right.
That I'm pretty excited about, actually.
I am very excited too. We're using several vegetables and shrimp.
I don't think we've ever cooked a recipe with shrimp yet.
Yes, we did.
we?
Actually, we did a spaghetti squash with shrimp.
You're right. You're right. We have done one.
That is delicious.
It is. So I'm gonna wash my hands and let you talk about the recipe.
So we're going to start talking about our ingredients, and we have a lot of spices today. So we're going to add. We're going to need some oregano. We're going to need some coriander. If you cannot find coriander, I actually did it with dried cilantro, so that will work. We're also going to need some cumin. We're going to need paprika. We're going to need salt and pepper, just a little bit. Of course, we're going to need our shrimp, and we want our shrimp to be peeled. And so you want it to be ready, but not cooked, so uncooked. We're going to need some onion, red onion. We're going to need 5 cloves of garlic, but we're going to divide it, and I'm already divide mine. Mince it and divide it. We're going to need some cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes. We're going to need 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and we're going to need some basil, zucchini, bell pepper, and garbanzos or chickpeas, and we're going to need olive oil.
Cool.
Did I miss anything?
That's a lot.
Yes, but you know, it looks like it's a lot of ingredients, but at the same time, it's things that normally we'll have at home.
Exactly.
And
It's a lot of seasonings.
And I want to tell you something. I'm so excited because, you know, normally we use grape tomatoes because they're cheaper, right? But this time, Jessica Strickland, our horticulture agent, is growing tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. So these are from our garden.
Straight out of the garden.
Yes. So I'm very excited. And also the basil is from our garden.
That's really cool.
We're comparing different varieties of basil. Yeah. So we're using one of the varieties.
Interesting.
And soon we're going to have a taste test with our master gardens so they can see, they can compare basils.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's right here. The greenhouse is right here on the property of the Maxwell Center.
We have a garden and we have a greenhouse.
Yeah, so it's
and
really,
then, of course, the farmer's market.
Of course, the farmer's market as well. But it really is almost like a learning lab here. I mean, right here on the campus. So
and I get so excited every time that I can go and pick out. And sometimes Jessica will bring it, but if not, I can just, I need basil, and I just go over there.
So can you tell the difference in the basils? I mean,
yes, there are some that are very strong,
really?
Others that are, and even with the smell, as soon you move the plant and you smell it.
Interesting. How about cilantro? Different varieties of cilantro?
We don't have it in here, and I've never had like
See, I don't like cilantro.
Come on.
I don't. I know it's like blasphemous.
Goodness.
I know.
Oh.
So, you know, cilantro though is very like it's a polarizing thing for a lot of people. Like to me, it tastes like soap.
So do you think maybe because you ate the cilantro with the stem?
No, I don't think so.
Because I don't like. I'd rather just.
I'm just
have
saying,
the
like
leaves.
it's a thing. I thought I was crazy not liking cilantro.
No, there's some people that they like
There's
it.
some people
you love
that
it or you
tastes
hate
weird.
it.
I just wanted to know if there was maybe a cilantro variety that I should be trying.
I don't know.
I can. Sorry, this is a whole sidebar. I can eat it if it's like mixed into stuff.
Oh, okay.
But like on top,
no. So actually, the basil we're going to add it at the end just to give that flavor. We're going to cook it a little bit, but it's when it's going to start like the aroma.
I'm perfectly fine with basil.
Perfect. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to mix our spices, except the salt and pepper.
Okay.
So I have a bowl over there for you to mix all the spices.
All of these in?
Yes, please.
Probably. Oh, we got a little bit more in there we can get.
Yes, we can use it. And in this case, we're just using regular paprika. We don't need the smoked paprika. Now, some recipes will call for that. And we can use this to mix it.
Okay.
Okay. And we're just going to use part of that for the shrimp. Okay. So, but before we add it to the shrimp, we need to be sure that our shrimp is dry. And I try to dry it before I put it in the refrigerator, but we'll try again. pretty good. But just like with a paper towel, just go ahead and dry your shrimp. And remember how you defrost your shrimp. It takes only like 10 minutes. You add a little bit of cold water, and then you check. And then if not, do it in the refrigerator for a safer practice. Okay, so we're gonna add just 1.5 of a tablespoon. Okay, that's good. And then just kind of half. And the other part, we're gonna save it. We're gonna save it for vegetables.
Okay.
So can you just mix that? I'm gonna
Is it okay
wash
to use this?
Yes.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna wash my hands because I touched the shrimp. And I love this recipe. It only takes 10 minutes to prep and like 12 minutes to cook. So a total of 22 minutes.
That's not bad.
Oh, no, it's not. And one thing that we are going to, through the cooking process, we're going to be talking about this, but we need to be very careful that we do not overcook our shrimp or we do not overcook our vegetables.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to just put this in the refrigerator for right now. And we're going to add a little bit of salt in here.
Like a pinch?
You know what? You can add the whole thing. We
whole?
only have 1/4 of a teaspoon.
Okay.
Okay. And I don't think the recipe calls for pepper, but let's do the pepper.
Okay.
It calls in the ingredient list, but not during the process.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm going to put that in the refrigerator for right now. And we're going to start cutting our vegetables.
Okay.
So you choose which one you want to do first.
We've got. We'll go ahead and start here.
Okay, because you are a professional. You already know how to do that one, right? Perfect.
Go with that. I don't know about professional.
Yes, look at you.
But
And just remember that we already washed all our vegetables. So you got it. And for this recipe, we're choosing to cut them, cut strips.
okay.
But for any reason you don't like big chunks of food, just always you can do it in a different shape. Like we have been doing a lot of summer camps where we talk about, the visual aspect of the food, and how important it is for people to, to have different shapes and have different colors and textures in their food, so you can find a balance between the dishes that you're making.
Have you sharpened this knife lately?
It's not.
No, it seems like it's sharper than normal.
Oh, okay. I try to do it all the time.
Could just be a really good bell pepper too.
Or you're getting really good.
Or that's what we'll go with.
That's right.
It's the chef here.
That's right. Yeah, I try to have. It's very important. I'm glad that you mentioned that, because a dull knife is not a safe knife.
Yeah.
And again, if you notice the colors, that is another thing that we're going to have in this recipe. It's going to be a really pretty dish.
All right.
Okay, so we can put them in one of these bowls.
You're not keeping this, are you?
And no.
Okay.
So one of the things that while I'm doing this, and I think we mentioned this before, when we're reading recipes, normally the recipe will not give you the tips and tricks.
Yeah.
So I like
That's what we're here for.
Yes.
Really, just Michelle.
So I like to separate my vegetables in bowls, because that way, if I mix them, I'm going to have to cook them together.
Yep.
So it's going to take longer for my bell pepper to cook than for my zucchini. And I don't know about you, but I don't like mushy.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. So for zucchini, are we just doing rounds?
We're going to do rounds, and then we're going to, cut the ends, both of the ends, and then cut it in half. And then we're going to cut it in half again.
Down through, that's what you're saying?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Okay, and then they are too thick. So half of that, a little bit less.
Half of that?
Thinner. That's good.
Like a sliver?
Yes.
Michelle, you gotta have thicker
Okay, do it.
zucchini.
You will see when you're cooking it. If not, it takes a while to cook. Just be sure, even if you do thicker slices, be sure that they're all the same.
Well, these ain't gonna be all the same. I'm telling you that much right now.
I'm ready to measure.
Yeah, you going?
No, just remember, if you have different thicknesses, thank you. They're not going to cook even. And very important, especially with zucchini, you want to be sure that it is. That's what I'm saying. This is a very easy recipe, but you just need to be careful the way you cook it, because it may not be, if you overcook, it's not going to look good. It's going to taste good, but it's not going to look good. And if you have texture issues, that would not be good. And again, if you cannot find red bell pepper, that's okay. You can put another color. If you're growing bell pepper right now, put whatever you have in your garden. It just looks prettier. Oh, and another thing, you can use yellow zucchini. Like this was a, no, yellow
we
zucchini.
Call that squash.
Yellow squash. Thank you. Thank you. I knew that I'd say something crazy.
But I think you might be onto something. You could market that.
Just you enjoy it. Okay, so you can have one zucchini, one yellow squash, or half, depending on the size. Like this was a big zucchini.
Yeah.
But we're getting at the end of the season where they're bigger now.
Oh, I just drug your knife. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
See, we're talking about how sharp it is, and now you're wondering, oh my goodness.
It was sharp.
Yep, not anymore. So I really recommend you to follow the directions when you're doing this recipe. It has like 6 steps, but with a lot of wording. So, but it's going to be good. So what I'm going to start doing, I'm going to start putting olive oil in here. Okay, and it calls for 2 tablespoons, but you basically, kind of just put 1 tablespoon right now, and then when we add the other, we'll do the extra. So right now, what we're going to do, we're going to cook the garlic and the onions.
Michelle, the bowl's not big enough.
Oops.
It's all right.
I told you that was a big zucchini.
It is a big zucchini.
But that's okay, because we just want to be sure that we're not mixing it with the other vegetables. So we're just going to warm our olive oil. And this is a great, if you have a cast iron skillet, this is a great recipe to do it in a cast iron. But you know what? In this one, it works good. So that doesn't mean if you don't have one, it doesn't mean that you cannot do it. So what we're going to do, we're going to add the garlic.
Right now?
Yes, please. So remember, this is half of the garlic that the recipe calls for. Okay? And then we're going to add the onions.
Okay.
Okay? Just be sure that you're not burning your garlic. It's not a good thing when you burn your garlic. And we're kind of wait like 3 to 4 minutes, but just be sure that you're moving these around.
Yeah. You want me to do that for you?
Yes, you can. And this is where the magic starts. Because I don't know, but garlic and onions.
Garlic and onions. Such a good combination.
It is. Every time that I do a cooking demo and I'm like outside, people think that I'm making hot dogs. So everybody comes to the cooking demo if I have garlic and onions. And basically, we're waiting for that smell to come.
Yep.
That's what it's just so important. Like I say, those tips and tricks, it's not just,
Yeah.
just say it, oh, it's 3 to 4 minutes. It's not like that. It's about, because it's going to be depending on the heat and the power of your
Absolutely.
heat or, your stove. And you can see here the onions already turning. And you can use any other variety of onions. I just think that for this recipe, it looks better.
The color.
And
Yeah.
also, the taste of the red onion is different.
Yeah.
Can you smell it now?
Oh yeah.
It's just now coming.
Yep.
So we're gonna wait a little bit, and then we'll start adding our other vegetables. So in this case, again, the recipe says that you add zucchini, but we're gonna add the bell pepper first. And just because, like I said, we talked about these before, bell pepper cooks slower
Yep.
than zucchini.
You want to go ahead and add it now?
Yes. And if you need to turn your heat down, if you think
I
that,
think it might need just a little bit
okay.
down. Just so we're not cooking everything too fast.
And I'm not sure, maybe right now you may need to add a little bit more heat if you think that the pepper is not cooking, but I think it's doing
Yeah.
good. And then we're going to add the zucchini. I'll add these for you, and then you
Thank
can
you.
add the other ones. Okay. And the chickpeas or the garbanzos,
Uh-huh.
they already cooked. They're from the can, so just be sure that you drain them and you rinse them. And you're going to have a lot of bubbles, but because it's what it comes from the garbanzo, but don't worry about it. And it's doing really good. So
Are we
we're
ready
gonna,
to add those?
yeah, you can add
Okay.
these. And right now it's up to you if you want to add more salt and pepper, but I just added one time to the shrimp,
Yeah.
and I think that's okay. But if at the end of your recipe you think, when you're ready to eat it, I need a little bit more salt, that will be fine, because in here you have all healthy ingredients. So what you really need to be sure that you don't overcook is the zucchini.
Yep. I think we're good right now.
Yes, so the zucchini is going to change in color. And that's how you're going to start seeing in the middle a little bit more yellow. So that's when you're kind of need to figure out. And we're not going to cook it all the way, because we're going to put it in this
Yeah.
bowl, and then we're going to cook the shrimp, and then it's going to come back.
Yeah.
That's what I say. This recipe is kind of confusing. The process
Yeah.
it's a little bit confusing, but it's good. So what we're going to
We
do.
lost the garbanzo bean.
Oh no! Now you.
It jumped out. It wasn't my fault.
I think it's
literally,
with the-
I watched it. It jumped out and rolled somewhere. So.
Now we're going to add the rest of our seasoning.
Okay.
And I like to add the seasoning later, because it's when the juices are already out, so that way it kind of helps too.
Mix it up.
Because in the beginning it's kind of dry.
So our zucchini's starting to look.
It's looking a little bit. And we'll just wait a few more minutes and then we'll remove it. And again, this is about how you like it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like it kind of crunchy, and that's what is so important. This is not one of those recipes that you can just leave it. And no, you really need to be in front of the skillet. And try to mix it that way. Those that are already cooked, kind of like, you put them on the top, and then those that are not cooked. So you tell me, do you like them?
I'm good wherever
You're
you
good?
think. Yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to do now, we're going to put this in this bowl.
Okay.
And I'm going to bring the shrimp out. And that already looks delicious.
It does. Okay.
Okay.
One more.
Okay, so we're going to add a little bit more of olive oil.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that
And
good?
Yes, that's
Okay.
perfect. We're going to wait a little bit until it kind of gets the heat from the skillet. And then we're going to add the shrimp. I think it's ready.
Yeah, I think so.
So we're going to add the shrimp. And this is where we need to be very careful because it's nothing worse than overcooked shrimp. Like, I can eat overcooked vegetables, but
Yeah.
I cannot eat overcooked shrimp. So kind of like put them
Spread
in
it out.
one layer.
Okay.
So, and we're going to wait a little bit and then we'll turn them. So people normally say, well, until they are pink, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's true. So as soon as they start getting a little bit pink, like on both sides, what we're going to do, we're going to check the temperature. In the safe internal temperature for shrimp,
That's a new one.
that's a new one,
Yeah.
145.
145. Yeah, you're gonna have to tell me when to flip. I don't cook a lot with shrimp. I should, but
And many people use a lot like the cooked shrimp.
yeah.
So, and then, that's okay, but I love
No,
it.
the fresher stuff's better.
Right, and even that this was frozen,
Yeah.
shrimp, and it is, if you cook it right, it tastes
Yeah.
delicious. But I'll normally eat shrimp in restaurants, and I'm like, oh, this is old shrimp.
Yeah.
I used to say, this is not fresh shrimp.
Yeah.
But no, it might be fresh shrimp, but if they overcooked a little bit,
Yeah.
that's it. Okay, let's see if we
Go
can
ahead and
start
turn
turn it. Yeah. See, it doesn't take long. Some of those, they're already pink on the other side. And we're gonna add this in here. Okay. Now, I hope you don't have any meetings after this.
Yeah, right.
Because we're gonna be garlic smelly. So if you notice in here, yes, a little bit of salt, but most of the flavor is gonna come from all the spices that we use. And I don't think coriander, I don't think we had used it a lot.
No, I don't think so.
So, and that is a very different smell and taste. Yeah, play with the shrimp right now because they're getting.
I was just trying to get them
I
flipped
know.
over. It's funny how you think like just stirring them all up would flip them all over, but it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. And they turn pink so quick. So right now, I think if you just stir them,
Yeah.
it will kind of. That's why we wanted to have at least one side
Yeah.
ready, and then we'll work with that. I don't think it's lunchtime yet, but I'm getting very hungry.
I am. I love shrimp.
Me too. You can eat it just like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
especially like hibachi. You get a little of that like white sauce.
Yes, yeah. Well, you know
Not
what?
good for you. Let me be completely honest.
Right, but that's one thing that sometimes when we use those dressings or sauces, we don't really enjoy the natural flavor.
It's true, very true.
So that's why I'm like, with this one, I feel like we're getting all those flavors. I don't think you need any sauce, or like the spices are giving you everything. So just for curiosity, I'm gonna check I don't think that one is ready. Well, they don't want to come with me.
No, they don't.
And with these, you're going to have to at least take 3. Very
Hey,
close.
144, 146.
Okay, so.
So we're probably pretty close.
Yes. So what we're going to do, we know that maybe not all are ready.
Go ahead and add
Yes.
our veggies, yeah.
That way we don't overcook them. I feel like this is when, okay, hurry.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's the same way when I grill, because we talk about it a lot on the show with chicken.
Right. You don't want to dry.
You don't want to dry it out, and so I feel like when I'm grilling chicken, and if I'm going to put cheese on top, I'm like,
hurry. Yes. And
it's drying out.
That's my thing.
Time is against us now.
Some people will say, I don't need a thermometer. I know when the food is ready. But no, it's not just about the color.
It's not.
And I think
and that's one thing I've learned through cooking too. I was the same way. If the burger's done, it's done. If the steak's done, it's all about temperature.
When you start using the thermometer, you can really control.
Absolutely.
So that's really good.
I keep my thermopin right there because I'm like, with chicken especially, that's one thing. If you have not learned anything on this show that you should learn about this, is that chicken, you will cook the best chicken you've ever cooked if you just, instead of checking it to make sure it's not pink, if you'll just check it with a thermometer.
Yes, because you can kind of like, and as you learn like your stove or your grill,
There's another garbanzo bean. It hopped right out.
It's like popcorn, kind of. So we're gonna add at this time the cherry tomatoes.
Okay.
I think the shrimp looks really good.
Yeah.
I think the zucchini are amazing. It's amazing. So we add the tomatoes almost at the end. I learned yesterday, I was doing a program at the food distribution at the library, and many people, they don't like cooked tomatoes. I was surprised. So
I can have them either way, but I could see because they get mushy when they get cooked down.
So that's why we add them at the last moment, kind of like it's gonna get all those flavors, but it's gonna still. And then we have the lemon juice. And let's wait a little bit for the basil. Oh, and I know I always said this, but the smell is just so good. Okay, let me check the temperature one more time.
Go for it. It's food safety.
Yes. See, that's what I like to put one more. Because it's like, I don't think it takes. Ground beef and shrimp is so hard to take.
It is.
Okay, it's coming now. Slowly.
Slowly but surely.
So let's leave it a little bit because it's not there yet. Some, I'm sure, but just keep mixing. And that's one of the reasons when the zucchini was not completely ready, but I said let's stop there. That way.
Makes sense.
Okay. And now what we're gonna do, we're gonna start adding the basil.
Okay.
So again, you don't want the basil like to cook too much, but at least will be part of the dish.
Yeah.
And it looks pretty too. And I want to be sure that people know that in here we use a lot of dishes, but when I do this at home, it's not like that. You know, it looks like, I'm not going to do that recipe because it's a lot of dishes. How are we doing?
I don't know. I don't think I did it as good as you.
Because it looks good.
Yeah, it looks very good.
Have another.
Get on there, shrimp.
We'll try the other one.
Yeah, maybe the battery's low in this one.
Because it looks good. And a while ago they were 146. That's what I was saying. Maybe because we add the tomatoes.
Cooled it down? Oh, there you go, 147.
Yeah, that's good. So we have one, well, now it's more than that. Okay, guess what?
All right.
Mix it up one more time, and it's ready. And I can bring the plates in here, or we can go on the other.
I can move over there.
Okay, that's good.
All right, we're gonna turn our oven off or stovetop off, and we'll see you on the other side over here.
So the serving size for this one is around in a cup, like 1 cup. You don't need a lot of shrimp. We use ½ pound of shrimp. And the calories, 298. The fat is 10.4. This is good, thank you. The saturated fat is only 1.4. Then we have the sodium, 455. Carbs, 23.9. Fiber, 6.9. We have a lot of fiber in this one. And sugar, 7.2. And protein, 29.3.
Here we go.
And I know
Bon
you
appetit.
cannot wait. Buen provecho. It's too hot?
It's a little warm. That's
Okay.
That is so good. There's so much flavor in there. I'll tell you what else is a kicker is that lemon juice. Add that little zest at the end.
But you see what I mean? It's like you can taste each vegetable.
No, you can.
The shrimp. It's just so good. And some people, they don't like garbanzos. Don't add the garbanzos.
Yeah, they're good.
They're
though.
good for you.
I just had one.
That's why we have a lot of protein. Because between the shrimp and the garbanzos, you get the protein there.
This is delicious. Simple. I mean, a 20-minute recipe.
Yeah.
Switch it up. Have a little seafood one night. Man, you did good with this one.
Thank you.
Is there anything else we need to talk about?
No, that this is really good for you.
Yeah, we're gonna go finish this now. It's really good. It's really good for you. It's easy, and quick for
Not expensive. Even
Yeah.
when we're using shrimp, but we're not using a lot of
The
shrimp.
shrimp's probably the most expensive part. I mean,
Yes.
most of the stuff you're gonna have around your house.
In your
already
garden.
In your garden. So,
Yes.
again, if you have a question about any recipe that you see here, reach out to Michelle here at the Cooperative Extension. And then if there's something you'd like to see us try,
Let us
reach
know.
out. Yeah, let us know. In the meantime, we are going to go finish this dish because it's absolutely delicious and we don't get shrimp enough here. So
That's right.
we're going to go finish this off. But we appreciate you and we'll see you next time right here on Cooking with Michelle.
Thank you.